Good evening, everyone.
Live chat. And where's mine? Okay, 6 o'clock. Yes. Are we still waiting for anyone? And we'll bring them through. Right. Okay. Welcome to the second March meeting of full council. 23rd of March 2021. Please note that the meeting is being live streamed by the council's website and will also be available to view by members of the public and the press who are allowed by law to film, audio record, take photographs, blog or tweet at this meeting. I'll introduce myself. I'm Councillor Annie Aaron, Mayor of Sandwell. Can I invite the Chief Executive to call out the names, introduce yourselves and turn on your video and microphone, please.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Good evening. Councillor Zahor Ahmed.
Good evening, everybody.
Thank you. Councillor Shaheen Akhtar.
Present.
Councillor Samir Akhtar.
Present.
Councillor Keith Alcock.
Here.
Councillor Peter Allen.
Here.
Councillor Lorraine Ashman.
Present.
Councillor Babu Singh Bawa.
Present.
Councillor Kerry Carmichael.
Yeah.
Councillor Bill Cherrington.
Present.
Councillor Ginny Chidley. Councillor Ginny Chidley, yes. Councillor Elaine Costigan.
Present.
Councillor Elaine Costigan.
Present.
Thank you. Councillor Maria Crompton.
Yeah, I'm here.
I think we've frozen. Councillor Sharon Davis. Councillor Yvonne Davis.
Yeah.
Councillor Baru Dalu.
Present.
Councillor Suzanne Eves.
Present.
Councillor John Edwards.
Here.
Councillor Bill Gavin. Councillor Gavin. Councillor Elaine Giles.
Yeah.
Councillor Elizabeth Giles.
Present.
Councillor Luke Giles.
Present.
Councillor Gerdish Gill.
Present.
Councillor Manjit Gill.
Present.
Councillor Simon Hackett.
Everyone here.
Councillor Joanne Hadley.
Present.
Councillor Suzanne Hartwell.
Present.
Councillor Linda Horton. Councillor Linda Horton. Councillor Pam Hughes.
Here.
Councillor Peter Hughes.
Present.
Councillor Mushtaq Hussain.
Present.
Councillor Mohammed Yassin Hussain. Councillor Zahir Hussain.
Present.
Councillor Zahir Hussain.
Yes, present.
Thank you. Councillor Anne Jarvis.
Present.
Councillor Anne Jarvis.
He's here. I think you're having difficulty with your sound.
Thank you, Councillor Jarvis. Councillor Ian Jones.
Present.
Councillor Owen Jones.
Present.
Councillor Richard Jones.
Present.
Councillor Stephen Jones.
Present.
Councillor Saika Corsa.
Yes, present.
Councillor Thabiso Mabina,
Present.
Councillor Richard Mavitti,
Present.
Councillor Steve Melia,
Yes, present.
Councillor Kay Miller,
Present.
Councillor Danny Millard,
Good evening, I'm here.
Councillor Iqbal Padham,
Present.
Councillor Sue Phillips,
Present.
Councillor Bob Piper,
Present.
Councillor Liam Priest,
I'm here.
Councillor Laura Rollins,
Here.
Councillor Mohammed Rolfe,
Present.
Councillor Paul Sanders, Councillor Paul Sanders, Councillor Anne Shackleton, Councillor Anne Shackleton,
Present.
thank you, Councillor. Councillor Farah Shaheen,
Present.
Councillor Karen Sims,
Present.
Councillor Rajbir Singh,
Present.
Councillor Mahinda Taggar, Councillor Taggar, Councillor Jackie Taylor,
Good evening, I'm present.
Councillor Joyce Underhill, Councillor Underhill, Councillor Julie Webb,
Present.
Councillor Caroline White,
Present, I'm here. Good evening, everyone.
Councillor Christopher Worsey,
There will be an apology in for Chris. His dearly beloved had a baby last night or this morning. All are doing well.
Congratulations.
thank you very much, Councillor. Is there anybody whose name I haven't called out?
Fine, but I'm here.
Saeeda Khatun.
But
Apologies.
she's already sent her apologies.
The audio's playing up, so did you get me, David? Councillor Mohammed Yassin?
Yes, Councillor Hussain. Okay, thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, David. Right, and moving on. I suspect none of us are going to concentrate on tonight's business without first paying tribute to our colleague, Councillor Sandra Hevican, who tragically died yesterday morning from the effects of coronavirus. Flag outside Council House has been lowered to half-mast and will stay so until her funeral. I'd invite you now to stand in silence for a minute before hearing tributes to our lost colleague. Thank you. Councillor Sandra Hevican was first elected in May 2014 and served Tiverdale Ward. Councillor Hevican's most recent positions were that of Vice Chair of the Planning Committee and member of Ethical Standards and Member Development and Audit and Risk Assurance Committees. Councillor Hevican also served on various other committees and panels during her term of office, including principally Vice Chair of Safer Neighbourhoods and Active Communities Scrutiny Board, Housing, Jobs and Economy Scrutiny Board, Rowley Regis Town Improvement Board, and Children's Services and Education Scrutiny Board. And that doesn't include all the work she undertook within her own ward. She's survived by her husband, Rob, who many of us know from his time in member services, and her son, Greg. I'd like to invite a few tributes from the floor, starting with Deputy Leader Maria.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. This is particularly difficult for me. Sandra was not only a colleague, she was my very, very good friend. We, along with Lorraine Ashman, myself and Lorraine and Sandra, all worked together as one. We worked together, we went out together. I cannot imagine how awful this must be for her husband, Rob, and the son, Greg. It's devastating for myself, and I know for my colleague Lorraine, and an awful lot of other people that knew Sandra. She was the most lovely lady you could wish to meet, hardworking, dedicated, and an asset to Tividale and Sandwell. I won't go on because everyone knows how much I thought of her, and basically I can't really say anymore. Thank you.
Thank you. Lorraine Ashman wanted to come in.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, for giving me this opportunity to pay a tribute to my fellow councillor and very good friends, Councillor Sandra Heverkin. I first met Sandra in 2013 when she was selected as the Tividale ward candidate. She was a committed Labour Party member for many years who successfully went on to win the seat in 2014 and subsequently in 2018. At the time, straight away, both Maria and myself, we could see that she was an absolute gem. Whatever was happening in Tividale, she was there. She didn't even have to ask her because she was always there, always with a smile, always willing to help. She was extremely capable, hardworking and very committed to the residents of Tividale and to the wider community. Nothing was too much trouble for Sandra. She would often go above and beyond for our residents and was always determined to get results. She was passionate about fairness and certainly was not afraid to voice her opinion when necessary. You knew where you stood with her and that was fine. I'm more than certain that the work she achieved in the ward over the last 7 years would no doubt have changed many individuals' lives. Over the last few days in the community, a lot of people have mentioned that Sandra was a lovely lady, and indeed she was. She was approachable, she was friendly, always ready to listen. She was also a thoughtful and very kind friend too, with a keen sense of fun, as Maria would know, and very, very good company when we were out together. Her untimely passing has left us all devastated, and she'll be deeply missed. And my heartfelt condolences go out to her husband Rob, her son Greg and her dad, her friends and all her work colleagues. Thank you very much, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Simon Hackett, you wanted to come in?
Yeah, thank you, Madam Mayor. And I think like everybody yesterday, we all felt sick when we heard the news. I mean, she was a councillor in Tividale, but she actually lived in my own ward of Friar Park, and so I've known Sandra for a long time. And it's terrible news, as Maria and Lorraine have said. I can't begin really to imagine what Rob, her husband, and Greg are going through. And I think all I can say is, my thoughts are with them today. They really are. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Pete Hughes.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Though Pam and I are still reeling from the sudden death of Sandra, we'll always be thankful for the happy times that we spent with her and Rob, whether that was at my 60th birthday, our son's wedding reception, going to a rugby match, or spending a holiday abroad together. We'll also be humbled and touched by her offer to host us for Christmas dinner after bereavement had taken people out of our lives. Her time here on earth was a life well spent, and she'll be very sadly missed as a councillor at Tividale, but also by her colleagues at Wolverhampton Council, where she worked for many years. Our heart goes out to Rob, Greg and the family, and we hope that God will wrap his arms around their shoulders and bring them comfort at a time when their grief will seem unbearable. God be with you, Sandra, and rest in peace.
Thank you. Councillor Ian Jones.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. It's hard to envisage the sorrow that people have and have experienced. Again, I remember Sandra as very fun-loving and very much a person who thinks right should be right. For the last month, I've known and on a daily basis communicated with Sandra and Rob while they went through COVID, and again, tremendous shock when after speaking to them the day before, 3 weeks ago, that Sandra then was rushed to hospital. Rob I've spoke to today and yesterday, and obviously they are devastated, and his son Greg, but I hope that they can find the celebration in her life that they had together, and can hopefully give her a good send-off when the time arises. But she was a good lady, a good friend, and fought for Rob and Greg all along while she was in hospital. And the messages coming back from the hospital when she could communicate with them were not to worry, we're fighting it. Rest in peace.
Thank you. I'm sure we'll all have our own memories. It's yeah, really few words to express how we all feel. Thank you for those tributes.
Madam Mayor, could you put me on the list, Councillor Gavin, please?
Did you wish to speak?
No, just say that I'm here. Problem's getting in. Thank you.
Okay. No, we've got you.
Okay.
Right. Apologies for absence. I have Councillor Boston, Katoon, Moore, Downing and Ali. Were there any others?
Councillor Worsey, Chair.
And
Councillor Worsey.
And Councillor Worsey, yes, of course.
Councillor Tagger.
Councillor Taggart. Okay, I haven't received any declarations of interest. Are there any? Thank you.
We've had Councillor Richard Jones.
Okay.
Yeah,
Councillor
Madam
Richard
Mayor.
Jones.
I'd like to declare an interest in item 12, please.
Thank you. Yes, indeed. Minutes of the meeting held on the 2nd of March 2021 to be confirmed as a correct record. I'll move that. Can I have a seconder?
I'll second those, Madam Mayor.
Thank you very much. Are they approved as a correct record?
Seconded.
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. I'll take that as an agreement. Moving on to item 4. I've been asked to include one item of urgent business on tonight's agenda, and we'll take that following my announcements. This is the final moving on to the announcements, item 5. This is the final meeting of Sandwell Full Council for this municipal year. For some, it is also their final council meeting. Councillors Linda Horton, Babu Singh Bauer and Pam Hughes will be retiring from the council, and I'll take tributes, but at the very end of this meeting. I'd like you all to consider today's National Day of Reflection, 23rd of March 2021. Our press office today asked all staff to observe a minute's silence at midday. today, 23rd of March, and later tonight, that people consider helping to create a nationwide beacon of remembrance on their doorsteps or at home by beaming phones, candles, torches into the night sky at 8 o'clock. This is part of an initiative proposed and developed by Marie Curie Cancer Care. The Minute of Silence at 12 and the Doorstep Vigil at 8 will form part of a day of reflection to mark the anniversary of the start of the UK's first COVID lockdown, when we remember those who have died in the pandemic. The Prime Minister announced the first national stay-at-home order on the 23rd of March 2020, days after warning that many families would lose loved ones before their time. The total number of recorded deaths linked to coronavirus in the UK on that date was just 335. 335 too many. There have now been over 143,000 deaths. Since then, there have been 3 periods of national restrictions, as well as the introduction of levels and tiers of measures in all 4 nations. The past 12 months have also seen coronavirus vaccines developed from scratch, with over 23 million people in the UK having already received their first dose. It is important that we all come together to reflect on our collective loss. Nothing shows us the reality of the pandemic more than the loss of people we know, love and respect. We remember in particular our own staff and community members whom we have lost to this terrible disease. We celebrate their lives of the lives of the special people no longer here, support those who have been bereaved, and look forward to a much brighter future. So once again, would you please join me in standing for a minute's silence for those who we've lost over the past year. Thank you very much. It's hard to concentrate, isn't it? But we'll move on through the agenda. We'll consider item 4, the urgent item of business, and this is a proposal to depart from the development plan at land adjacent to West Bromwich Crematorium, Newton Road, West Bromwich. Can I invite Councillor Millard to present the report and move the proposal? Mrs. Fuller.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. This report seeks authority to allow a departure to the local development plan in respect of a planning application for the change of use to cemetery parking, lighting and associated works. The purpose of this report is to discuss the departure only. Members cannot rerun the full planning application as this has already been through the committee process. The application was approved at planning on the 10th of February 2021. However, the site is allocated as Greenbelt, and as such the application is considered a departure from an adopted policy and therefore must be referred to full council for final decision. Whilst the proposal is of the proposed development is a departure from the local plan, government guidance suggests that developments such as cemeteries are deemed as acceptable on the Greenbelt land. A total of 3,000 plots will be created to provide much needed burial space within the borough. The original planning application attracted no objections, and accordingly we recommend the departure from the development plan to be approved in this instance. I move the report and I'll take any questions.
Thank you. Is that seconded?
I'll second that, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Can open the matter for debate. Anyone wish to speak?
Councillor Priest.
Councillor Priest?
Hello, thank you, Madam Mayor. Yes, as this proposal is adjacent to my ward, I just have one brief question. As Councillor Millard said, that the land is currently used for agricultural purposes by the council, and to my understanding isn't very accessible to members of the public to use as green space or leisure provision. Does Councillor Millard agree with me that I think this proposal would enhance an already much loved community asset in the crematorium, but also make that green space more accessible for local residents and more aesthetically pleasing as well? Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Are there any other questions or comments? Councillor Crompton, you don't wish to, do you wish to come back?
I've got no reason to come back. That sounds reasonable to me.
Thank you. Councillor Miller, do you want to reply?
Yes, thanks, Madam Mayor. Thanks, Councillor Priest. The land is classed as agricultural land. However, it isn't used at present, and actually, the report states itself it's of poor agricultural value. And because the land is categorised as farmed as agriculture, there isn't any public access to it at the moment either. You know, the positives are there isn't going to be any buildings erected on the site because they're still going to use the buildings that are already right next door. So it would exactly, therefore, retain that open green feel, and it would add to the landscape because it would be incorporated in the landscaping schemes that we run at places like that. The other positive is that it then protects that green space as well. Basically, it'll be there, a lovely, beautiful green space with nicely cut grass, well presented, perfect for the whole community. Thanks, Councillor Priest, for raising that. You are spot on.
Thank you. Can we take the vote then, please?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Good evening, members. After your name is called, please can you state whether you're for, against, or wish to abstain in respect of the motion. Councillor Ahmed.
For.
Councillor Janine Akhtar.
For.
Councillor Samia Akhtar.
For.
Councillor Alcock.
For.
Councillor Allen.
For.
Councillor Ashman.
For.
Councillor Bauer.
For.
Thank you, Councillor Carmichael.
For.
Councillor Cherrington.
For.
Councillor Chipley. Councillor Chipley.
She said for.
Sorry. Councillor Costigan. Compton.
For.
Councillor Sharon Davies. Councillor Sharon Davies.
Sharon, are you there? Sharon Davis? We'll come back to you.
Councillor Von Davies.
Oh, there you are. There you are. She's indicating positive. For.
Councillor Von Davies.
For.
Councillor Dillon. For. Councillor Eves. For. Councillor Edwards.
For.
Councillor Gavin. Councillor Gavin.
For. Thank you.
Councillor Lang Giles.
For.
Councillor Elizabeth Giles.
For.
Councillor Luke Giles.
For.
Councillor Kadesh Gill.
For.
Councillor Ramsey Gill.
4.
Councillor Hackett,
4.
Councillor Hadley,
4.
Councillor Hartwell, Councillor Cam Hughes, Councillor Peter Hughes,
4.
Councillor Mushtaq Hussain,
4.
Councillor Mohammed Yassin Hussain,
4.
Councillor Zahir Hussain,
4.
Councillor Young,
4.
Councillor Jarvis,
4.
Councillor Ian Jones,
4.
Councillor Alwyn Jones,
4.
Councillor Richard Jones,
4.
Councillor Stephen Jones,
4.
Councillor Corser,
4.
Councillor Mabina,
4.
Councillor McVitie,
4.
Councillor Melia,
4.
Councillor Miller,
4.
Councillor Millard,
4.
Councillor Padder,
4.
Councillor Phillips, Councillor Piper,
4.
Councillor Priest,
4.
Councillor Rollins,
4.
Councillor Ralph,
4.
Councillor Shackleton, Thank you. Councillor Shaheen, sorry.
4.
Councillor Sims,
4.
Councillor Singh,
4.
Councillor Taylor,
4, we heard you. Thank you.
Councillor Webb,
4.
Councillor White.
4.
It's unanimous.
Thank you, members. That was unanimous. Unanimous approval. Moving on. We've had no notices of any petitions or written questions. So moving on to item 8, which is page 46, which is the pay policy 2021 and gender pay gap reporting. Could I invite Councillor Millard to present the reports and recommendations in respect of the pay policy statement 2021 and gender pay gap data reporting?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Both sets of statistics contained within this report form part of the range of obligations placed upon local authorities to be open and transparent. Each year, the council is required by the Localism Act of 2011 to prepare and publish a pay policy statement setting out its policies relating to the pay of its chiefs officers and its employees. It should be noted that the council's previous annual pay policy statements had informed that the pay ratio between the median FTE employee and the chief exec was 1.6. The median pay figure has increased over the last year by about 1,400, causing this pay ratio to narrow to 1.5. Otherwise, the pay level ratios within the council, when comparing its lowest paid employees to the chief officers and then to the average earnings, will remain the same over the past year. The full pay policy statement for 2021 is attached for approval prior to publishing. The council is required by the Equality Act Regulation 2017 to prepare and publish its gender pay gap data on an annual basis. This is an equality measure that shows the difference in average earnings between men and women expressed as a percentage of male earnings. Sandwell Council's mean gender pay gap figure has narrowed from 6.4% to 5% over the last 12 months. And the first mean gender pay gap figure published in 2018 was 8.4%. So we've had a massive increase, well, a 3.4 increase over the last couple of years. In addition, it should be noted that the medium gender pay gap figure has almost narrowed in the last year from 14.4% to 12.1%. The causes of any gender pay gap remain complex and overlapping. There is not one single overriding reason why a gender pay gap exists. The report details some of the good work which has already been done in Sandwell to reduce the gender pay gap. These include the implementation of the revised NJC pay spine from the 1st of April 2019, offered a starting rate of £9 per hour. Reporting has identified that around 80% of those employees receiving the new starting rate were female. The new NJC pay spine also introduced equal steps of 2% between the first 22 pay points. This consistent and fair approach applies to all employees bands A to E inclusive, reporting that has identified around 65% of these employees in these bands are female. By supporting employees at the lower end of the pay scale by following the minimum hourly rate set independent of the government and promoted by the Living Wage Foundation, the council started paying the foundation living wage as a minimum to all its internal employees from the 1st of April 2018 and has continued to do so ever since. The majority of employees receiving a living wage supplement are female. There continues to be an improvement in the number of female employees employed in more senior roles, following approval of as a supportive narrative to explain and complement the council's gender pay gap, and that will be developed and published very soon. I'll move the report. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Do I have a seconder?
Yes, I'll second that report. Thank you.
Thank you. I can open the matter for debate. Does anyone wish to speak? No questions. In that case, Councillor Miller, you have the right to reply if you wish, but you'd be replying to yourself.
No, not at all, Madam Mayor.
Thank you very much. Right, I did ask if we can vote electronically, but it's not working terribly well. You'll have had a go with electronic voting during some of the member briefings, so I'm afraid we still have to do it on a roll call basis. So for the second vote, please, Sergeant.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Again, members, if you would please indicate whether you're for, against, or wish to abstain in respect of the motion. Councillor Ahmed.
For.
Councillor Sheen Akhtar.
For.
Councillor Samir Akhtar.
For.
Councillor Alcock.
For.
Councillor Allen.
For.
Councillor Ashman.
For.
Councillor Bauer.
For.
Councillor Carmichael.
For.
Councillor Cherrington.
For.
Councillor Chidley.
For.
Councillor Costigan.
For.
Councillor Crompton.
For.
Councillor Sharon Davis.
For.
Councillor
Got
Yvonne
you.
Davis.
For.
Thank you.
Councillor Dalu.
For.
Councillor Eaves.
For.
Councillor Edwards.
For.
Councillor Divan.
For.
Councillor Elaine Giles.
For.
Councillor Elizabeth Giles.
For.
Councillor Luke Giles.
For.
Councillor Gadesh Gill.
For.
Councillor Manjit Gill.
For.
Councillor Hackett.
For.
Councillor Hadley.
For.
Councillor Hartwell.
For.
Councillor Pam Hughes.
For.
Councillor Peter Hughes.
For.
Councillor Mushtaq Hussain. Councillor Mohammed Yassin Hussain.
For.
Councillor Zahir Hussain.
For.
Councillor Young.
For.
Councillor Jarvis.
For.
Councillor Ian Jones.
For.
Councillor Owen Jones.
For.
Councillor Richard Jones.
For.
Councillor Stephen Jones.
For.
Councillor Corsa.
For.
Councillor Mabina.
For.
Councillor McVitie.
For.
Councillor Melia. Councillor Miller.
For.
Councillor Millard.
For.
Councillor Padder.
For.
Councillor Phillips.
4, she said.
Thank you. Councillor Piper.
1.
Councillor Priest.
Sorry, sir, did you say my name then?
Yes.
Indeed, yes.
Yes, Councillor.
Yes, 4.
Oh, the suspense.
Councillor Rollins.
Oh,
Councillor Brown.
4.
Councillor Shackleton.
4.
Councillor Jean.
4.
Councillor Sims.
4.
Councillor Singh.
4.
Councillor Taylor. Councillor Webb. Councillor White.
4.
That's unanimous, Chair.
Thank you. Again, that's carried unanimously. Moving on to Air Quality Action Plan. Group's been considering this for a while. Can I invite Councillor Sheen to present the report and move the recommendations in respect of the Air Quality Action Plan 2020 to 2025?
Okay, thank you, Madam Mayor. Air pollution is associated with a number of adverse health impacts. It is recognised as a contributing factor in the onset of heart disease and cancer. Plus, recent research has suggested links between air quality and both cognitive and sight health. Additionally, air pollution particularly affects the most vulnerable in society, children and older people, and those with heart and lung conditions. There is also a strong correlation with equality issues because areas with poor air quality are also often less affluent areas. The Council has a legal obligation to produce an air quality action plan. This paper recommends the Council to approve Sandwell's AQAP 2020 to 2025 and that the Director of Public Health be authorised to address air quality issues. The AQAP has also been consulted on a local consultation for 6 weeks from 20th of January to 15th of March 2020, a second period of consultation for statutory consultees between 7th of July and 1st of September 2020. The 7 priorities actions to support these aims are: number 1, develop specific measures with local communities to reduce number 2 hotspots. Number 2, promote public transport, walking, cycling and switching to zero emission vehicles. Number 3, review the Council's impact on air quality, including council fleet and employee vehicles. Number 4, support and encourage taxi drivers to switch to low emission vehicles. Number 5, apply existing and adapt new planning development policies to support air quality improvements. Number 6, publicity campaigns to encourage behavioural change around physical health and increasing use of low emission vehicles. And number 7, partnership working with Birmingham City Council to minimise potential negative impact of the clean air zone. And with that, I'll move the report. Thank you.
Thank you. The recommendation's been moved on page 59. Is that seconded?
Yes, I'll second that, Madam Mayor.
Thank you very much. Can open the matter for debate, for questions. Councillor Priest.
Hello, thank you, Madam Mayor. Just more of a comment than a question, really. Just to thank Councillor Shaheen and the working group for all their work on this. And I welcome this report with open arms and its recommendations, really, as my ward has a number of air pollution hotspots, including Stone Cross, the junction between All Saints Way and the Newton Road, and the M5 M6 interchange. I think it's a fantastic piece of work that's been carried out by officers and members alike, and I'm sure I'll be availing myself of the powers and recommendations contained within the report to improve the life. Thank you very much, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Julie Webb.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Just a question for David, please. Has any exercise been carried out on the impact of exposure to air pollutants being done on school crossing operatives?
We'll come back to that. Pete Hughes.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I have to say I remain to be convinced in relation to the air quality figures that have been mentioned in this report relating to particularly my own ward, Wednesbury North, and I would welcome further discussions at a more localised level regarding this. Councillor Priest has just mentioned the issue surrounding the Scott Arms and the M5 M6 junction there. We have a similar arrangement with junction 9 on the M6, and whilst I noticed that the NO2 levels appear to have improved, I would like to have more detail and more detailed discussions at a localised level to find out what the other issues are in relation to air quality. I'm particularly concerned about the two schools that are adjacent to the M6 there, and I'd like to be convinced that the air quality is as good as we're saying it is in this report. Having said that, having contributed to the early part of the work on this, I do welcome any report of this nature that deals with air quality. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Piper.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I also welcome this report, and whilst I can have reservations, and some of those I share with Councillor Hughes, the second recommendation seems to involve encouraging people to use public transport. What I'm pleased to be able to report is that the last public transport actually manufactured in this century appears to have arrived in Bearwood. I passed a bus made actually since 2010. The other week in Bearwood, so it's nice to see that the Public Transport Authority is catching up with the fact they need to clean up the vehicles, because the buses themselves cause most of the pollution along Bearwood Road, which is one of the priority hotspots. So, and I actually at the Climate Change Working Party, it was pleasing to hear the Transport Authority say that they're actually moving as quickly as possible towards more electric buses. So that's to be welcomed too.
Thank you. Any further comments or questions? Councillor Sheen, would you like to reply to any of those comments?
Yep. I was just going to say thank you for the comments from the members, and there are quite a few hotspots areas that we are looking into. Plus, I just want to say that this action plan is shared between two other cabinet members also, and working along with the officers, we all are working together and looking into this. So thank you.
There were some specific questions. Are you able to, particularly from Councillor Webb, are you able to answer that now? Will you come back to her?
I can come back to her and email it to her if that's okay.
Okay, if you can contact her tomorrow, please.
Yeah, that's fine. No problem at all. Thank you.
Can I ask for a vote to be taken on the Air Quality Action Plan 2020 to 2025?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Members, please would you indicate whether you are for, against, or wish to abstain in respect of the motion. Councillor Ahmed.
For.
Councillor Shaheen Akhtar. Councillor Shaheen Akhtar. Councillor Samir Akhtar.
For.
Councillor Orfa.
For.
Councillor Allen.
For.
Councillor Ashman.
For.
Councillor Barrow.
For.
Councillor Carmichael.
For.
Councillor Cherrington.
For.
Councillor Chidley.
For.
Councillor Costigan.
For.
Councillor Crompton.
For.
Councillor Sharon Davies.
For.
Councillor Yvonne Davies.
For.
Councillor Dalu. 4. Councillor Eaves.
4.
Councillor Edwards.
4.
Councillor Gavan.
4.
Councillor Elaine Giles.
4.
Councillor Nicholas Giles.
4.
Councillor Luke Giles.
4.
Councillor Gadesh Gill.
4.
Councillor Manjit Gill.
4.
Councillor Hackett.
4.
Councillor Hadley.
4.
Councillor Hartwell.
4.
Councillor Pam Hughes.
4.
Councillor Peter Hughes.
4.
Councillor Mushtaq Hussain.
4.
Councillor Mohammed Yassin Hussain.
4.
Councillor Zahir Hussain.
4.
Councillor Young.
4.
Councillor Jarvis.
4.
Councillor Ian Jones.
4.
Councillor Olwyn Jones.
4.
Councillor Richard Jones.
I'm 4, sorry. I got a bit late there, sorry.
Councillor Stephen Jones.
4.
Councillor Corser.
4.
Councillor Medina.
4.
Councillor McVitie.
4.
Councillor Melia. 4.
Steve, where are you?
Councillor Miller.
4.
Councillor Millard.
4.
Councillor Padder. Councillor Padder.
4.
Councillor Phillips.
4.
Councillor Piper.
4.
Councillor Priest.
4.
Councillor Rollins.
4.
Councillor Rowe.
4.
Councillor Shackleton.
4.
Councillor Shaheen.
4.
Councillor Sims.
4.
Councillor Singh.
'Cause Singh. Come back.
Thank you. Councillor Taylor.
4.
4.
Councillor Webb.
4.
Councillor White.
4.
Councillor Akhtar.
Still here? Oh. No, looks like she's left the meeting.
Councillor Melia.
Can't see him.
And Councillor Singh.
He said he's 4.
He's gone. Thank you.
4.
Thank you. Seem to have lost a few members and welcome Linda. That's
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you.
Sorry I was late.
Not at all. Thank you. So that's carried.
Councillor Rice Beers things said 4 on the comments.
4, right. And what is he trying to join us again?
I believe he's already on, but he must have trouble with his.
We're not picking him up. Never mind.
Sorry, Chair, my internet is playing up a little bit, so I'm getting on and 4.
Right. So the Air Quality Action Plan is carried unanimously. Moving on to item 10. Amendments to the Council's procurement and contract procedure rules. Can I ask Councillor Millard again to present the report? Move the recommendations in respect of the revised procurement and contract procedure rules as.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. These proposals have been considered by the Council's Audit and Risk Assurance Committee and are recommended to the Council. A review of the Council's financial regulations is underway and will inform through a thorough review of the Council's contract procedure rules later this year. In the interim, in order to act on advice received from the Cabinet Office required some immediate amendments to the current contract procedure rules. The first is in response to advice from the Cabinet Office regarding reservation of contracts below the financial thresholds set out in Public Contracts Regulation 2015. This means that the council will have the ability to reservice below the threshold contracts on the basis of geography, regionally, and or by sector, company size. So it means you can give to community groups, voluntary organisations, SMEs. It's a greater freedom to give these below threshold contracts out in the duty to achieve best value for money and to comply with the requirements of the council constitution. It actually aligns very well with the council's inclusive economic strategy, offering the ability to restrict tender lists to include regional companies and smaller companies. So obviously it fits into my cabinet responsibility. The second amendment is in response to advice from the Cabinet Office concerning pressures faced by all contracting authorities resulting from the response to the impact of COVID-19. Cabinet Office issued advice in March 2020 and repeated that advice in January 2021 that unavailability of resources to undertake tender processes resulting from the impact of COVID-19 constitutes grounds for modifying existing contracts or negotiation of contracts without prior issue of contract notice. The council finds itself in a position of a shortage of resources to take tender processes within the service teams who are responsible for specification of requirements within the procurement. These are responsible for the strategic procurement activity and the supplier base where teams are stood down or furloughed. It is proposed that Rule 13 of the Council's current contract procedure rules should be suspended and that authority should be delegated to the Chief Executive and Section 151 officer to improve the extensions of existing contracts where there is a lack of resources to undertake re-tendering. In addition, it is proposed that direct award of below threshold contracts is approved. Extension of existing contracts or direct award of new contracts will be contingent on a demonstration that such action complies with the Public Contracts Regulations of 2015. That value for money can be demonstrated and that any contract extension or direct award is for the shortest period necessary. A report will be made in the case of each individual contract extension award and a record kept with a report detailing all such activities made to the Council's Audit and Risk Assurance Committee every 6 months. This enables the Council to ensure continuity of services during a period where resources are scarce. This proposed second amendment is a temporary measure and will be reviewed later in the year when the Council's contract procurement rules are reviewed in total. The recommendations of the report are that approval be given to amend the Council's contract procedure rules as followed. 1.1.1, there we go, suspension of Rule 13 regarding contract extensions to permit extension of contract in circumstances where response to impact of COVID-19 has resulted in a lack of resources to undertake procurement processes. 1.1.12 is the approval to make direct awards of contracts below the thresholds set out in the Public Contracts Regulations of 2015 in circumstances where response to impact of COVID-19 has resulted in a lack of resources to undertake procurement processes. 1.1.3, there's not long left. The incorporation of Cabinet Office advice regarding reserving contracts below the threshold set out in the Public Contracts Regulations of 2015 by geographical location or specified sectors. And then 1.2, which is further to 1.1.1 and 1.1.2, above, the authority is delegated to the Chief Executive and the Section 151 officer to improve the extension of the contracts due to expire in 2021. Oh, I move the report. Thank you.
Yes, nicely summarised. All those rules, as I'm sure you've all read, are detailed in the report. Is that seconded? Are those recommendations seconded?
It's all second report, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. I'll open the matter for debate. Councillor Priest.
Yes, sorry again, Madam Mayor. I will be quiet eventually. Just to concur with Councillor Millard's presentation there, I think in the absence of the chair of the Audit and Risk Assurance Committee, I wanted to give members an insight into the meeting last Thursday. We did spend some time scrutinising this, and we gained assurance from officers that the same rigour will be applied to contracts that sit below the threshold, sit below the new threshold as before. But I think what members highlighted in the audit meeting, and what I would like to highlight to full council tonight, is there is an opportunity here, as Councillor Millard has said, to not only get more punch for taxpayers' pounds, but also to really build on the inclusive economy pledge that this council has made to grow Sandwell's local economy with the resources and the capital that this council spends every year. I don't have any questions. It was just a comment. Thank you very much, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Are there any others?
Councillor Peter Hughes.
Councillor Peter Hughes.
I would like to further what Councillor Priest has to say there. I think we've missed a slight opportunity to build in the community wealth building aspect of procurement into this report, and possibly movements towards cooperation in terms of trying to find suppliers that are cooperatives, and I think moving forward, I mean, I'm happy to endorse this report, but I'd like to see that those aspects being worked on even more as the council move forward on this.
Thank you. Any others? Councillor Millard, do you want to reply?
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. Firstly, thanks, Councillor Priest, for stepping in there. Obviously, you sit on the audit committee, so I was very pleased when you put your hand up. I thought he can do a bit more explaining than I could do, as I don't sit on that committee. And I think the point you picked up on is really essential, and is the manner of this report. The manner of this report is about the bigger picture. And in terms of Councillor Hughes' point, obviously, I'm inclusive economic growth cabinet lead, and we are really pushing this this buy local, this trying to keep the money in Sandwell as a real positive. So there's no doubt from ourselves on the cabinet that we are really massively pushing this as what we want to see going forward. So there's no doubt in my mind that I've been having similar conversations in terms of CICs and cooperatives in terms of how we do take this forward, and we look to build for a better Sandwell. So thanks for bringing that to the table as well, Councillor Hughes. Other than that, Madam Mayor, the report's there.
Thank you. I'm not going to read out the motion. You've done that already. So can I ask for the vote, please?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Members, again, please would you indicate whether you're for, against, or wish to abstain in respect to the motion. Councillor Ahmed.
For.
Councillor Shaheen Akhtar.
For.
Councillor Samir Akhtar.
For.
Councillor Alcock.
For.
Councillor Allen.
For.
Councillor Ashman.
For.
Councillor Bauer.
For.
Councillor Carmichael.
For.
Councillor Cherrington.
For.
Councillor Chidley.
For.
Councillor Costigan.
For.
Councillor Crompton.
For.
Councillor Sharon Davies. Councillor Yvonne Davies. Councillor Dallin. Councillor Eves. Councillor Edwards. Councillor Gavan,
4,
Councillor Elaine Giles,
4,
Councillor Elizabeth Giles,
4,
Councillor Luke Giles,
4,
Councillor Gadesh Gill,
4,
Councillor Manjit Gill,
4,
Councillor Hackett,
4,
Councillor Hadley,
4,
Councillor Hartwell,
4,
Councillor Horton,
4,
Councillor Anne Hughes, Councillor Peter Hughes,
4,
Councillor Mushtaq Hussain, Councillor Mohammed Yassin Hussain,
4,
Councillor Zahir Hussain,
4,
Councillor Young,
4,
Councillor Jarvis, Councillor Ian Jones,
4,
Councillor Olwyn Jones,
4,
Councillor Richard Jones,
4,
Councillor Stephen Jones,
4,
Councillor Causa,
4,
Councillor Mavina,
4,
Councillor McVitie,
4,
Councillor Melia,
4,
Councillor Miller,
4,
Councillor Millard,
4,
Councillor Pudder,
4,
Councillor Phillips, Councillor Piper,
4,
Councillor Priest,
4,
Councillor Rollins,
4,
Councillor Ram,
4,
Councillor Shackleton,
4,
Councillor Shaheen,
4,
Councillor Sims,
4,
Councillor Singh,
4,
Councillor Taylor, Councillor Webb,
4,
Councillor White,
4,
Councillor Yvonne Davis.
4. Thank you.
That's unanimous, Chair.
Thank you, colleagues. That's carried unanimously. Moving on to page 204, review of the members' code of conduct, arrangements for dealing with complaints under the code and members' social media policy. And this time, could I invite Councillor Ahmed to present the report and move the revised member code of conduct, arrange for dealings with complaints under the code of conduct and the social media policy recommendations.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. It has been busy municipal year for the Ethical Standards Committee with full-scale review of our code of conduct and arrangements. In January 2019, the Committee on Standards in Public Life published a final report on review of local government and ethical standards, which included recommendation that LGA should create a model code of conduct. In December 2020, the final LGA model code was published, and LGA has confirmed that it will produce a guidance document in April 2021. The Committee on Standards in Public Life also published a list of 15 best practice recommendations for local authorities, and progress against these recommendations is monitored by them. As we know, there's still more we can do and improve upon. We embarked upon an ambitious review of the member code of conduct and arrangements for dealing with complaints, as well as other associated and linked matters such as gift and hospitality, use of social media, and DBS checks for members. To drive improvement on our ethical framework, the Ethical Standard Working Group, with support, advice, and guidance of Monitoring Officer and his team, agreed a clear methodology which included extensive engagement with members on key areas of focus. This was the first time we had ever taken this approach. The engagement enabled the working group to gain members' views and in-depth understanding of what members wanted from the code of conduct and arrangements. A total of 5 engagement sessions were held during December 2020. Each session was run 3 times to allow maximum attendance. The 5 subject matters were the review of the code of conduct, spotlight on social media, spotlight on members' interest, a review of the arrangements for dealing with complaints under the code, duty to promote and maintain high standards of conduct. Over the sessions, an average attendance rate of 50% was achieved. We also sent a questionnaire to all members who could not be attended to ensure that everyone had the opportunity to contribute. I am so proud and grateful for our members' attendance and participations in these sessions. This is the first time such extensive engagement process has been adopted for members in relation to the ethical framework. Overall feedback was that members appreciated the opportunity to share their views and thoughts on how the ethical framework could be improved. All this positive engagement had helped inform the review of the members' code of conduct and arrangements for dealing with complaints, as well as social media policy, the gifts and hospitality guidance, the member development program, and new member introduction program. A protocol has also been developed for meeting between senior officers and group leaders and chief whips to discuss standards issues, as recommended by the Committee on Standards in Public Life. And there will be a review carried out regarding recruitment of an independent person. The monitoring officer Sergio Toa and his team have worked incredibly hard in supporting the standards working group, and the engagement facilitation of the sessions has been excellent. I would like to thank him and his team for all their efforts and hard work. I therefore move that Council agrees the recommendation detailed within the report. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you very much. Is that seconded? Councillor Crompton, maybe.
I'll second that report, Madam Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I can open the matter for debate. Does anyone wish to speak or ask a question?
No.
Peter Hughes.
Madam Mayor, thank you for allowing me in yet again. I do feel that I need to speak to this and endorse my friend Councillor Ahmed's proposal of this report. There's been an extensive amount of work gone into this, and for us contributing on the committee, but in a wider sphere. When we were contributing, and when I was contributing, I was aware that we needed to go forward from now with an attitude that the council wants to make sure that its councillors are abiding fully by the Nolan principles. We need to move on from the position where we've been, and we need to make sure that our council is one to be proud of, and that people looking on think is one that is fairly run and is done with integrity. And that was the stamp of this particular report. I endorse it fully, and I would also like to thank the extensive amount of work that's been taking place by the officers under Sergio Toa, who have actually made this a pleasure to be part of. And I think it's actually a mark of the extent to which the councillors made sure that we're getting this right going forward. And thank you to Councillor Ahmed for leading on this.
Thank you. Councillor Joanne Hadley.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Just a quick question I'd like to ask in relation to the social media engagement. How do you differentiate between like an elected member using social media to someone who uses actually their own post that doesn't state that they are a councillor? How do we differentiate from that?
Okay. Councillor Yvonne Davis.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I wanted to comment on the 50% involvement of members and wondered whether there could be more work done to ensure that every single member is trained in the code of conduct and how it impacts them. I also wanted to draw attention to that not all members take the code of conduct seriously. And a recent investigation found the investigating officer was not convinced overall by the evidence of the subject members during interview, effectively saying the members have lied. So I think we need to be much stronger on standards in public life.
Probably shouldn't be discussing individual cases at this point.
Well, I'm not.
But I
names.
I take your point that
But the
all
code of
members
conduct
ensuring.
if it's just a piece of paper, it is of no use to us. People have to abide by it, and when they're felt not to be abiding by it, there needs to be action taken. And I've yet to be convinced that we have a code of conduct that actually is going to deliver us higher standards in public life.
Well, the policy, Councillor Hammond can come back to that. Councillor Ian Jones.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Again, the policy that's in place and that relies on the integrity of Labour group and its members, and it also relies on the integrity of them to declare interests where they've been involved in investigations from a Labour Party point of view. I have seen nothing in the recommendation.
We're talking party, we're talking just about the council here.
I'm talking about the council and the members' code of conduct.
All right.
And on that basis, until we actually sort those predetermined prejudicial interests, the general public will not be in a position to understand where certain members come from when they appear before the committee, or even where they serve on the committee. And surely that should be something that should be declarable, and that the legal officers serve make sure that they have no part in any of the deliberations that they are before them. So the members' code is only as good as the members who are actually then making contributions or even sitting in judgment. And I'm sure that that's something that we all want in probity in the council. Thank you.
Are there any other?
Councillor Mohammed Yassin Hussain.
Councillor Mohammed Yassin Hussain. Your microphone's off. Can you switch your microphone on? Oh, yeah.
Can you hear me now?
That's it. That's it.
Yeah, I was going to discuss this issue, but as you've said already, that we can't issue a lot of individual stuff. But I'll stick to my previous colleague. If we stick to integrity, we can't go wrong. Thank you.
Thank you. Any others? Councillor?
No.
No. Okay. It seems like most of the criticism is about enforcements rather than the policy itself. Councillor Zahir Hussain.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just wanted to say, just thank the officers, as other colleagues have done, for the significant piece of work around this. I've had significant involvement myself, and I think the first step is around consultation and involvement from members around the code of conduct for buy-in. And I think that step's been taken now, and I felt like it was a robust exercise. So thank you for Councillor Ahmed for leading on this and the officers. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Councillor Ahmed, do you want to reply?
Yes, Chair. First of all, thank you to all of everybody for coming and giving comments and some remarks. First of all, can I just come back regarding social media policy and Joanna Hadley's question? I think if I understood, it's always been recommended that if you got private social media account, and then you got to have you've got to have a separate one for your councillorship, and I think that's the best way to move forward on that. So there's a lot of complaints over the years with social media issues and complaints going through. So that's the reason we created this policy in social media, so everybody can understand, the colleagues can understand that they can follow certain rules or regulations, and hopefully this should help. Coming back to other colleagues, it's as I said before, and I've been saying in my own meetings as well, that it's up to individual people, our colleagues, to make sure we abide by normal principles, ethical standards, and that's how it is. And this is something LGA Code of Conduct, we amended it slightly to include one or two things in there. But overall, it's LGA code, and we adapted that. And that, you know, if you hopefully we're going to be putting some trainings on next probably May, June, end of May, probably June probably. So everybody can understand that this is something that we need to abide by, and it follow regulations. And bottom line is I think it's down to every individual person, colleagues here, to follow certain rules and regulations. And if they try to try to break, or something does, they misunderstand something, and I think there's always they can go back to the monitoring officer and get some advice and guidance, and hopefully that should work out. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Do you want to comment on enforcement?
Chair, as I said before, enforcement is up to when complaint comes in, is the monitoring officers. The policy has been changed slightly. We will hopefully within certain time limit, we will reply back and enforce whatever needs to be necessary. And if there is something serious issues which he can't deal with, and hopefully we'll bring it to the committee with a certain period of time limit. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you very much. Sorry, Councillor Hughes, you have already spoken and the debate's now finished. We're now going to move to the vote to be taken on the revised Code of Conduct, arrangements for dealing with complaints under the Code, member social media policy and gifts and hospitality protocol. And all those recommendations are listed on page 204 and 5. Can we take the vote, please?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Members of the again, please indicate whether you're for, against, or wish to abstain in respect of the motion. Councillor Ahmed.
For.
Councillor Sheen Akhtar.
For.
Councillor Samir Akhtar.
For.
Councillor Alcott.
For.
Councillor Allen.
For.
Councillor Ashman.
For.
Councillor Bauer.
For.
Councillor Carmichael.
For.
Councillor Cherrington.
For.
Councillor Chidley.
For.
Councillor Costigan.
For.
Councillor Crompton.
For.
Councillor Sharon Davies.
For.
Councillor Yvonne Davies.
For.
Councillor Dalu.
For.
Councillor Eaves.
For.
Councillor Edwards.
For.
Councillor Devan.
For.
Councillor Elaine Giles.
For.
Councillor Elizabeth Giles.
For.
Councillor Luke Giles.
For.
Councillor Hidesh Gill.
For.
Councillor Manjit Gill.
For.
Councillor Hackett.
For.
Councillor Hadley.
For.
Councillor Hartwell.
For.
Councillor Horton.
For. Sorry, I lost the network again.
Councillor Pam Hughes.
For.
Councillor Peter Hughes.
For.
Councillor Mushtaq Hussain.
For.
Councillor Mohammed Yassin Hussain.
Mike's off.
Sorry, apologies. For.
Councillor Zahir Hussain.
For.
Councillor Yaron.
For.
Councillor Jarvis.
For.
Councillor Ian Jones.
For.
Councillor Alwyn Jones.
For.
Councillor Richard Jones.
For.
Councillor Stephen Jones.
For.
Councillor Corser.
For.
Councillor Mabina.
For.
Councillor McVitie.
For.
Councillor Amelia. Councillor Miller.
For.
Councillor Millard.
For.
Councillor Padder.
For.
Councillor Phillips. Councillor Piper.
For.
Councillor Priest,
4.
Councillor Rollins,
4.
Councillor Rowe,
4.
Councillor Shackleton,
4.
Councillor Sheen,
4.
Councillor Sims,
4.
Councillor Singh, Councillor Taylor,
4.
Thank you.
Councillor Webb,
4.
Councillor White,
4.
Councillor Melia.
Thank you, colleagues, that's carried. Moving on now to the nomination to the office of Deputy Civic Mayor. Can I invite Councillor Dallow to present the nomination?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I move the minutes of the General Purposes and Arbitration Committee held on 19th of March. Moving that, I move Councillor Richard Jones to be Deputy Civic Mayor of Sandwell MBC 2021 to 2022. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Is that seconded?
Yes, I'll second that, Madam Mayor.
Thank you very much. Anyone want to discuss the matter? No. Excellent.
Wondering, Madam Mayor, are we
Yes.
allowed to third that and fourth that and fifth that?
Noted. Thank you very much. Let's move to the final vote. Remember, normally in full council would have done all of these on a show of hands. It wouldn't normally be a named vote, but here we are. So, can I take a vote that Richard Jones be the Deputy Mayor for Sandwell Metropolitan Borough Council for the municipal year 2021 to 2022.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. If members will please indicate whether you're for, against, or wish to abstain. Councillor Ahmed.
4.
Councillor Shaheen Akhtar.
4.
Councillor Samir Akhtar.
4.
Councillor Alcock.
4.
Councillor Allen.
4.
Councillor Ashman.
4.
Councillor Bauer.
4.
Thank you, Councillor Bauer. Councillor Carmichael.
4.
Councillor Taylor.
4.
Councillor Chippy. Councillor Costigan.
Councillor Costigan, where are you? Elaine, where are you?
Councillor Crompton.
Councillor Crompton.
4.
Councillor Sharon Davis. Councillor Yvonne Davis.
I think she's got internet problems.
4, I can hear you. She said it 3 times.
Thank you. Councillor Dallin. Councillor Eaves. Councillor Edwards.
4.
Councillor Gavan.
4.
Councillor Elaine Giles.
4.
Councillor Elizabeth Giles. Councillor Luke Giles.
4.
Councillor Gadesh Gill.
4.
Councillor Manji Gill.
4.
Councillor Hackett.
4.
Councillor Hadley.
4.
Councillor Hartwell.
4.
Councillor Pam Hughes. Councillor Peter Hughes.
4.
Councillor Mushtaq Hussain.
4.
Councillor Mohammed Yassin Hussain. Councillor Mohammed Yassin Hussain.
Come back to.
Hello. Sorry, Sergeant. I didn't catch quite everything because there's something wrong with my tablet. So, can you just try the question at me again, please?
Do you want? Are you in favour or otherwise of Richard Jones becoming the deputy mayor for the following municipal year?
Four. Yeah.
Thank you.
Sorry, because the tablet's playing up.
Thank you. Councillor Zahir Hussain.
4.
Councillor Yarrow.
4.
Councillor Jarvis.
4.
Councillor Ian Jones.
4.
Councillor Olwyn Jones.
4.
Very proud 4.
So he should be.
Councillor Stephen Jones.
4.
Councillor Corsa.
4.
Councillor Mabina.
4.
Councillor McVitie.
Surprisingly, 4.
Councillor Amelia.
4.
Councillor Miller.
4.
Councillor Millard.
4.
Councillor Padder.
4.
Councillor Phillips.
4.
Councillor Piper.
4.
Councillor Priest.
4.
Councillor Rollins.
4.
Councillor Brown.
4.
Councillor Shackleton.
4.
Councillor Sheen.
4.
Councillor Sims.
4.
Councillor Singh.
4.
Councillor Taylor.
It's an absolute 4.
Councillor Webb.
Congratulations, Richard. It's a yes from me.
Councillor White.
4.
My apologies, Councillor Horton. Councillor Horton.
A very happy and supportive 4.
And Councillor Costigan.
Yeah, internet's back on 4.
Thank you. That's unanimous, Chair.
That appears to be unanimous. I can confirm that Richard is grinning from ear to ear. A little round of applause, it seems. Congratulations.
Madam Mayor and Council, thank you all for your support. I'll do my best. And yeah, as you can see, I'm very pleased about this. So thank you all very much.
If you need any help, Councillor Stern Hartwell will be more than happy to advise. I think she had a pretty good year. And
I'll be knocking on her door for advice and support. So thank you.
I'm sure you will, when it's allowed. Yeah. Right, moving on to the business. The business is item 13A, the West Midlands Fire and Rescue update. Can I invite Councillor Edwards to present the update?
Yes, Madam Mayor, thank you. I'll move the report that's tabled in my name, Madam Mayor, concerning the West Midlands Fire and Rescue Authority and deal with any questions.
Thank you. Are there any comments or questions? None received. In that case, thanks very much, John.
Thank you.
Item 13B, Transport for West Midlands update. Can I invite Councillor Akhtar to present the report for the West Midlands update?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. As you all may have received the report on behalf of West Midlands Combined Authority, I forward the report and I'm happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Ian Jones. Councillor Ian Jones.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. It's a similar question to what I asked last year. Tipton Railway Station is waiting for its car park to be built, and again, surprise, surprise, it seems we may have mine shafts in the West Midlands or the Black Country as a whole. As it's part of severe congestion around the area with cars parking anywhere and everywhere, can I ask that we again put forward our case for the additional funding that we can receive regarding that matter? And I know we had a members meeting regarding the metro, but at the the metro, which is going to be by Boscobel Estate and Binfield Street and that, with no car parking facilities. Can we ask that there's something looked at regarding the road layout or the enforcement in the area regarding those matters, and hopefully that we won't have the same congestion as we have around the streets, around the train station, as we will when the new metro station is there. So if you can take that back, I would be most appreciative. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Councillor Akhtar, do you want to respond?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Thank you, Ian. What I'll do is I'll get back to you on that as soon as possible. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks very much.
Moving on to 13C, the West Midlands Police and Crime Panel update. Can I invite Councillor Richard Jones to present the West Midlands Police and Crime Panel update?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. This report details the work of the West Midlands Police and Crime Commissioner panel over the past few months. I'd like to highlight that the panel has a statutory duty to scrutinise next year's budget for the OPCC. This is the second year that I've been a part of this process and continue to see the strain in presenting a balanced budget, especially with the funding pressures on the force. This year, like the NHS and this council, the police have still responded during COVID and indeed seen an increase in the pressures that is needed. The precept, the amount of money collected from council tax, is one of the smallest in the country in the West Midlands. As members will know, West Midlands Police is one of the largest forces within the country. It doesn't balance. I'd like to thank the Police and Crime Commissioner and the officers for all their hard work in presenting this budget and their in this extremely hard circumstances. I won't talk any further, so I'd move this report to the council and can answer any questions.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments? Well, that report is received. Moving on to item 13D, the West Midlands Combined Authority update. Can I invite the Deputy Leader, Councillor Crompton, to present the update.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Mayor. As you'll see from the report, the work of the Combined Authority encompasses a number of key issues: employment, economy, recovery, climate change, active travel, affordable housing, Carbon Homes Charter, West Bromwich Town Centre, regeneration, including Wall Street demolition and Friar Park housing development. I won't go into any detail and I'll move the report. Thank you.
Any comments or questions? You forgot the Commonwealth Games. Anything
Sorry
else?
about that, Madam. How could I possibly forget the Commonwealth Games in there? Do apologise.
I don't know. Do you want to respond? No, there's nothing to respond to. Thank you. The report is received. Moving to item 14, the annual report of the Planning Committee 2019-2020. In the absence of the chair, can I invite Councillor Allen to present this report?
Thank you very much, Madam Mayor. This report covers the 2 years, 2019 and 2020. The chair has asked me to give her thanks to the officers for all of the good work they've done, certainly in the last year with the pandemic, and the committee. It has been quite a steep and very quick learning curve for us and changing the way we're working. And with that, Madam Mayor, I'd present the report to the council and take any questions.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments? No.
Thank you.
The report is received. Thank you. Item 15, the annual report of the Ethical Standards and Member Development Committee 2019-21. Can I invite Councillor Ahmed to present the annual report of the Ethical Standards and Member Development Committee 2019-2021?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'm pleased to present the combined annual report to the Ethical Standards and Member Development Committee for the periods of 2019-2020 and 2020 and 21. Turning 2019 and 2020, the committee continued to review the approach to the member development, and the revised member development program assisted members to lead their own development and ensure that they develop and acquire the requisite knowledge, experience and skills to succeed in the various councillor roles. The committee also undertook a review of personal safety for elected members. The review formed part of the member development program, which incorporated training, sport and well-being interventions as requested by elected members in its design phase. This program will continue to evolve over the coming years and will incorporate an existing new My Councillor portal requested by members to assist with casework, management and general inquiries and signposting to the latest information ward level. Unfortunately, in April 2020, Chair of the committee, Councillor Jeff Lewis, passed away, and I would like to take this opportunity to acknowledge all of the time and effort Jeff committed to his role. Jeff was a real driving force behind standards, and we all know how immensely proud he would have been of work that has been undertaken by committee. In particular, the recent work around the review of the code of conduct and arrangements and the member engagement process are referred to earlier in the meeting. I would take this opportunity to emphasize on the all members' importance of attending the standards training that is offered every year. These sessions are essential to your understanding of the code of conduct and also useful discussion forum for members about ethical issues. Once new member code of conduct is adopted, training will be provided to all members. I would like to thank all members of Ethical Standards and Member Development Committee and the independent persons for their attendance and contribution during the past year, and also monitoring officer and his officers have provided support throughout the year. Also, Councillor Hevkin was also a member of the committee and
we've lost you. Do you want to try switching your video off? Maybe that will help.
Shall I come back?
Yes, please.
Yes, sorry, I've just, I think my internet was playing up a little bit. Just like to say, the Councillor Hevkin was also a member of committee and echo everyone's earliest thoughts, and she will be missed. I would like to put on record my and committee sincere thanks for all support, for all her support and assistance she has given to Ethical Standard Committee members. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Can I open the matter for debate or questions? The report is received. Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on to Cabinet Minutes, page 385, item 16. Are there any questions to the Deputy Leader? One, who's that?
Peter Hughes.
Councillor Peter Hughes.
Sorry, Madam Mayor, I was asking to speak on the previous item, but you moved on before seeing my hand, I think.
Oh, right, sorry. The hand has only just come up.
Okay, I'll leave it then. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. You can always write in.
Yeah, Madam Mayor, there does seem to be a problem. I don't know which side it is. I mean, I did raise a hand for the transport issue when Samir was discussing it, but not a problem. I will write in as well, but there is a
apologise, but it didn't come up. I wasn't aware of that. I think if first of all we want to hear that about any failure to indicate that you want to speak. And the other thing is that if you do have a comment, please do write to the member responsible, preferably tomorrow morning, and we'll see if we can get a reply to you. Are there any questions about the Cabinet Minutes? Those are received. Item 17, page 414, Budget and Corporate Scrutiny Management Board. Can I invite Councillor Luke Giles to present the minutes of the Budget and Corporate Scrutiny Management Board held on the 24th of February 2021 and respond to any questions.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The minutes are presented and I'll take any questions and answer them as best as I possibly can.
Thank you. Any comments or questions? No. The minutes are received. Audit and Risk Assurance Committee, page 418. On behalf of the chair of the committee who can't be here today, could I invite Councillor Allen to present the minutes of the meeting of the Audit and Risk Assurance Committee held on 11th of February 2021 and respond to any questions?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'll present the minutes of that committee on the 11th of February, and I'll take any questions.
Are there any? Minutes are received. Thank you very much. That completes the agenda. We are now at 1946. I did say at the beginning of the meeting that we would pay tribute to the 3 members for whom this is the last meeting, their final meeting. They'll be retiring from the council, namely Councillor Linda Horton, Councillor Babu Singh Bauer and Councillor Pam Hughes. If we go past 8 o'clock, we're going to stop for a minute. And those of you who wish to can shine a light either on your phone, on a candle, torch, or any other way you would like. Or, there you are, Councillor Amelia at the ready. Right, and so paying tribute to those 3 shining lights who we've known for so long. Can I start with Councillor Crompton?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We start with Councillor Bauer. Councillor Bauer has been a councillor in Sandwell for many, many years. I know he's been a Labour Party member for 55 years. He's served on many, many boards, outside bodies, lots of different things, and has been a huge asset to the council across all this time. I remember the first time I met Councillor Bauer was when I was first selected to stand for Tividale, and he shook my hand and made me welcome and told me that he would always be there for me, and I'll never forget that, and that's the truth. He has always been there for me ever since, and I really appreciate that. I'll move on to Councillor Linda Horton, who has been an amazing representative on the council, also for many, many years. And the outstanding thing there for when Linda was actually mayor, and we did the calendar, girls calendar, and
you didn't.
We did, yes, we did. We did the Calendar Girls calendar to raise funds for her charity, and the best thing about that was we all had such a laugh. It was a really good experience, and I think that Linda sort of took a shining light on that, and we had a really good time, and that is the highlight, I think, that I remember, apart from obviously Linda's is a staunch councillor and has been for many years, along with her husband Roger. And Councillor Pam Hughes, for many years now, Pam Hughes has been a good councillor in Wednesbury, and I know that in recent years she's not had such good health, and I hope that she will go on to be well and rest a bit more maybe. But also I would like to thank all of them, Councillor Bauer, Councillor Horton and Councillor Hughes, for the service they have given to Sandwell Council and its residents. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Councillor Ashman.
I haven't got my hand up.
Oh, have you not? Sorry. Councillor Hackett?
From the previous, so if we ignore them.
Oh, right, sorry. Councillor Ian Jones. Oh, sorry. Simon, were you intending to speak?
No, I haven't got my hand up now.
Oh, sorry. Ian Jones.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. And again, a well-deserved rest for Linda and Babu, and I'm sure Pam as well. Serving on the cabinet for such a long time with Linda, you know that she is forthright, and she has honesty at the back of her and democracy at the back of her mind at everything that we do, and group meetings as well. You could always rely on Linda to make a contribution, and she's made such a contribution in Smethwick with Roger, and I wish them well, and I'm sure they'll be at the opening of the Commonwealth Games pool when it actually comes forward in there. I'd also like to bow a very good gentleman who's served his community, and he always has warm hands when you shake his hand, which I do every time we see him. He's very knowledgeable, very quiet, but sometimes when he's got the bit between his teeth, he will tell you what he feels as well. So can I wish you both well, and Pam as well, both well going forward, and hope that everybody's health maintains. Thank you.
So Councillor Elaine Hostigan.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Yeah, I would like to personally pay tributes to the retiring councillors Pam Hughes and Linda Horton, please. Firstly, Linda, which I have great memories, which Maria has already commented. When Linda became the mayor and wanted us to do a calendar, it really was a great time, to be honest with you, something that you'll never forget. Obviously, with Linda, my dad was also very, very fond of Linda, and she actually knows that. So, Linda, thank you for helping residents all those years, and also for being very kind. And on to Pam Hughes. I have sat with Pam on the planning committee in the past, and also Pam when she became Wensby Town Lead. Pam was always lovely to work with, and I've got to say Pam was also very kind. I wish you all a lovely and long and happy retirement, and just to say thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Samir Ahmed.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I would like to thank Linda Horton and Bhavar Singh Babu for all the tremendous hard work and efforts over the many years they've spent on the council. Linda Horton especially, you will be deeply missed and a huge inspiration and a role model for myself. I wish them both all the very best and the best of health. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Councillor Luke Giles.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Obviously, want to wish all three of them the best of luck in their retirement, but I just wanted to pay tribute to Pam. When I got elected for the first time, I served as Pam's deputy as town lead, and she guided me and supported me and showed me a lot in that role. And also, we served on planning together. And yeah, I mean, Pam might be retiring from the council, but I hope she stays around and stays in touch, because not just a councillor and a colleague, she's actually a good friend of mine. So all the best to all three, but especially for Pam.
Thank you. Councillor Dalu.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Councillor Bhavar Singh Bawa, OBE, is a religious Sikh man. He is a member. You're right, yeah. He is a member. He has been a member of the Labour Party over 50 years, as I said, and a member of the council over 30 years. He worked for Andrew Ford, Peter Archer, Adrian Bailey, John Speller, Betty Booth Royal, Tom Watson.
It's ancient history.
Sorry. Yeah,
that's ancient history.
He was the chairman of the Oldbury Ward, and he was the chairman of the interview panel, and he was honorary alderman of Sandwell Borough, and he was a chairman of the Sandwell Community Law Centre, vice chairman of Sandwell Community Council, chairman of the West Bromwich Resource Centre, and Policy Relations Subcommittee, where he introduced 4 languages for the people who hasn't got their first language as an English, for the benefit of them. If they want to fill the application for benefit, and they can do so easily, which was Urdu, Punjabi, Hindi, and Bengali. And he is a communities man, and that's why he was honored for OBE. And he was a deputy mayor, and he is a down-to-earth man, and he first ethnic minority. I wish him well for the retirement. Hopefully, we will keep meeting each other. Thank you, Madam Mayor. And also, Linda Horton. I know Linda Horton for over 20 years. She is down-to-earth lady, well known to communities in Smethwick and Sandwell. She was a Smethwick branch Labour Party secretary until she come off that, and a couple of years ago, and she was vice chair of Worley CLP, and she is outspoken in Smethwick branch CLP and Sandwell Council. When she fell ill, I went to see her with Roger Horton, and she was poorly, but she put a brave face as there is nothing wrong with her. I wish her very well and hopefully long and healthy retirement. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you very much. Councillor Julie Webb.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just want to pay tribute to Councillors Bauer Singh Bauer, Pam Hughes and Linda Horton. Thank you very much for all the hard work you've done for the people of Sandwell. And I wish you a long and happy and healthy retirement. Bless you all.
Thank you. Councillor Zahor Ahmed. Your mic's off.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, for giving me the opportunity to say a few words regarding my fellow councillor Babu Singh Bauer. Over the years, I have gotten to know Bauer, and throughout this time, he has guided and supported me. He has been a great mentor. For those that may not know, the Bauer has been recognised for many achievements and contribution to society. As Councillor Dalu has mentioned, that he was awarded OBE in 2003. And before that, in January, I think 2003 as well, he was recognized by the Indian government as well, doing a lot of community work, not just in UK, but also within India as well, in Punjab. So he's always been doing a lot of voluntary work, and he's been voluntary working since a young age, from age of 80s. And I don't go through all the things really, because Babu Baba has mentioned, and Babu has been recognized there and in India. I just want to say personally, I'd like to thank him for his help and support he has given to me over the many years, and wish him the best upon his retirement and future. Just to come back on Linda Horton, what can I say? I know Linda for a very long time, even when I wasn't even councillor, and she's a great person, a great personality. Always smiling, to be honest with you, and I think she's a role model for a lot of people within Sandwell, and she will be stay within our hearts. And I'll give her the best of happiness for rest of the year's retirement. Pam Hughes, I think I didn't get to know well, but I have met her over the I think scrutiny boards committees, and I think she's a great person as well, and great personality. Wish her best of luck as well. Thank you.
Thank you. We've got a few more to speak, but it's 8 o'clock. So, colleagues, would you indulge me and shine a light? We're remembering particularly those we've lost over the year through this terrible, terrible coronavirus. And let's also remember those who have really given above and beyond to care for those who've been sick or affected in any way. Let's have 1 minute.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's really nice. You can carry on shining your lights if you like, but I shall switch mine off. And to our other shining lights. Councillor Liam Priest, you wanted to pay tribute.
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. I would like to pay tribute to Councillors Pam Hughes and Linda Horton, but also to Councillor Paul Sandars, who it's come to my attention he has declined to stand as a candidate this year and enter his retirement. I'd like to start with Councillor Sandars. Councillor Sandars was first elected in 2008, according to the council's website, as I don't remember that far back. So he has served on many committees over the years. In recent years, he served as chair of the planning committee and also as a scrutiny board vice chair. His commitment to Hatley Heath and West Bromwich is absolute. And if anyone's been on a political campaign with him, you will know that Councillor Sandars' work ethic is absolutely tremendous and an inspiration to many of us. Of course, members will know that Councillor Sandars suffered a stroke in late 2019 and is still suffering the after effects of that, although members, I am pleased to report he is making progress in his recovery, but wishes now to take a step back from frontline politics, and I'm sure we wish him all the best. To Councillor Pam Hughes, Pam, you were elected the same time I was. I think we spent quite a few hours together on the back benches in that first 12 months. You, me and Councillor Jarvis, and we developed a friendship and a respect for each other there. And I know your commitment to your town in Wednesbury is beyond words can describe. I know you're Wednesbury through and through, and you care deeply about that place, and you showed it when you served as town lead for that wonderful town, which happens to be my hometown. And to Councillor Horton, Councillor Horton, you're one of those councillors. I think when I entered the council, I looked at and I thought, yeah, that's how to do it. That's how to be a local councillor. And if there were a book called How to Be a Fearless Local Representative, I'm sure you would have written it. But thank you to all three of those members for their service to their individual towns, their wards, and to this borough as a whole. Thank you very much, Madam Mayor.
Councillor John Hadley.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Want to pay tribute to the three of them, in particular Councillor Linda Horton. I always remember when I first got elected, and I was so keen as a councillor, you know, and you run off and do your own bits and this, that, and the other. And she was soon pulled me reins in, and I was absolutely grateful for that time. And I respected the stories. Going back to the calendar, that was a real fun time. We had a real good laugh. In fact, in all fairness, that's actually when we all got on. Funny enough, there was nothing at all like this. Mr. Bower, I always called Councillor Bower Mr. Bower. He did have warm hands, a real gentleman. He actually thought more than he said, but when he actually did say something, you took note of it. So I wish everybody a good retirement. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Councillor Mohammed Yassin Hussain.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So I was just going to come back and let you know about Paul, but then Liam's brought Paul's name up. 3 councillors are retiring. Best wishes to them. But we must remember one thing. In this COVID period, we've lost a lot of close friends, family and colleagues. To today, I think it's 16 family members now, Klaus, who I've lost, and it was very hurtful. I've been through COVID myself. I was nearly there for my deathbed. Lucky to still be alive. So if it's possible to remember the ones who aren't with us, if at the end we could have a 1 minute silence for all. Thank you.
We did that earlier. We did this during the mayor's announcements.
Yeah, no, I know, but overall, as a whole, I was saying, but if it's possible, if not, it's not a problem.
Well, I think we've done it twice, really.
No problem, no problem.
Okay. Councillor Rajbir Singh.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I would like to pay tribute to all the 4 councillors who have decided to retire this year. Paul Sanders, he was the chair of planning when I joined the council. Fantastic councillor. Attention to detail was fantastic, and I learned a lot working with him. Pam Hughes, always smiling, lovely lady. Councillor Babu Singh Baba, I mean, he has represented the electoral, his ward, as well as a wider Sikh community. He's worked in collaboration with the Gurudwaras, and he'll be deeply missed by the Sikh community in Sandwell. And Linda Houghton, she was the secretary of my branch for quite a few years, and very inspirational, and I learned a lot. So I really want to thank them all for representing the people of Sandwell, and wish them best of luck for their future.
Thank you. Councillor Peter Hughes.
I too would like to give my thanks to all 4 councillors, particularly Councillor Barwood and Councillor Horton, that have served so many years for the council and basically given their lives to the council for those years, working within and outside the council to make sure that their communities are improved and the residents that they serve are dealt with properly and get the services they require. I think at one point there was a bit of an affinity between myself and Councillor Barber, that where we were treated in the same way and felt that it was unjust, and I think at that point there was an affinity there, and I shall always remember that. Councillor Horton, of course, I served on Sandwell Leisure Trust with Councillor Horton. We shared a car together a few times, and I always appreciated the advice that she gave. And I think with Roger, they've served Sandwell proud, both of them serving mayors, and basically served Smethwick well as well. In terms of Councillor Paul Sanders, Councillor Priest is quite right. I think he was a stalwart, and in terms of campaigning, a brilliant campaigner, particularly on the phone. Who could possibly not want to listen to Paul Sanders on the phone when he was campaigning? He got a voice that you wanted to listen to, and I think he served well on all the committees in which he served on. Lastly, I know it sounds quite strange that I should be talking about my own wife, but without her, I would not have become a councillor in the first place. She virtually ran my election campaign from the House for the by-election, and it's why she eventually became a councillor. She got herself involved in that, and that's how she stood forward. And like many husband and wife teams that join the council, we always have our ups and downs, but we've always managed to talk it through. And in relation to the council has been our life basically for the last 10 years, and I want to thank her for all the support that she's given me in that time. Thank you.
Thank you, and thanks for wearing the Marie Curie daffodil for our 2-minute silence. Councillor Dalu, you have already spoken, so if you're going to be quick, you can have a second go. But Councillor Dalu.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Mayor. I'm sorry I forgot to pay tribute to Pam Hughes. She was a very quiet lady and charming lady. Whenever you meet her, you're always smiling. She was very good, and I think I wish her a happy and long retirement. Paul Sanders, they always send me the card, Christmas card. Without opening the card, I always say it's from Paul Sanders. and we done hard work. He done hard work. Sorry, when it was a general election, and when I went there, he is always there with a loud voice. If sometime I have to say him, Paul, could you calm down a bit, please, because I want to do some telephone canvassing as well. And Paul Sanderson never have a rest. When he have to have a cup of tea, rather than have a rest and cup of tea, always bring the cup of tea with him so that carry on with the telephone. I wish him well as well. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Any more? Councillor Amelia.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I was hoping you'd call me in last.
Can you get a bit closer to your microphone? Can't hear you terribly well.
Yes, okay, thank you very much. I was hoping to come in last. However, I congratulate all retiring councillors. Thank you all for your work that you've done. But then you must remember that there is an election in a couple of weeks, and there will be some current councillors who may not be coming back. Can I congratulate all councillors who are standing for election or re-election, wishing them the best of luck. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'll just say, sorry, I wasn't aware of Councillor Sanders' retirement, so I wish him well. I've known him for a few years. In fact, he's followed me around. He's tended to chair the committees that I was chairing. Councillor Bauer, again, our paths have crossed for many years, and the commitment to your community shines through. And same for Pam Hughes, quietly getting on with what she needs to do, but with no less determination. Finally, of course, Linda Horton. What can I say? I first came to Sandwell in the 1986, and I think it probably wasn't much later that I first came across Linda and Roger Horton. Well, paths have crossed in many ways, not just at the council. I think we've got to know each other very well. I hope we can continue to remain friends. And with that, Councillor Hughes, you coming back quickly?
Yes, please. I don't think we could finish this meeting without making a vote of thanks to yourself, Councillor Yaron. This is your last full council meeting as mayor. A very strange.
Well, I start the AGM though.
A very strange mayoral 2 years, but it's the last one of the municipal year, and I'd like to thank you for what you've done over the last 2 years.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Councillor Amelia. Bancroft. Councillor Linda Horton.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. If I could just have just a couple of minutes to respond, because to be honest, I can't believe that so many people have said so many nice things about me and I'm still alive and breathing. It normally happens when you've passed away. So I'm very grateful for all those comments and thank you. I just wanted to make a couple of things clear if I could. Thank you for the ladies who said that they enjoyed doing the calendar. I've still got mine. Yes, the calendar was absolutely amazing and we all really enjoyed doing it, but it wasn't for my mayoral year. It was for Joyce Underhill. And Joyce was a bit embarrassed by it all. We did have a lovely time and the people from Member Services supported us very well. Can I just say to Elaine Costigan, the friendship that Roger and I both had with herself and with her dad went beyond politics. It was a true friendship, and although we could argue in council and disagree in council, we could be best of friends outside. And I don't care what anybody says, that's the way that we should run our business and our lives, by supporting each other. And I hope people will do that. Can I just say to Ian, yes, Ian, I do hope that Roger and I will be allowed to come to the opening of the Commonwealth Games. I've been watching people walking along the roof today from my back kitchen window, and I can't wait to see it all done. I wish everybody every success in the coming elections. I hope you all do well. I'm sorry for people who have not been reselected or have stood down, but I hope and let's get this COVID over and done so we can all have a get together, hopefully for annual council. That would be lovely. Thank you to everybody. God bless you all. I love you all dearly, regardless of which way your politics steer. And I look forward to keeping in touch. God bless. Thank you.
Thank you. Bauer, do you want to come in?
Yeah, thank you, Madam Mayor. I thank you, my fellow councillors. And also I thank you, council officers as well, who always provide me good advice. And frankly speaking, without council officers, I can't get OB. Only either Rab. I know that he is in sorrow, but I must mention his name. He is the person behind it when I get the OB. He worked for me and I thank him. I also ask my all fellow councillors, please keep the unity. If you keep the unity, that will be the helpful, and keep Labour flag up and up. I like that Labour Party flag more up and up in the borough. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Pam Hughes, did you want to come have the last word? Apart from me.
Can I just say Pam's a little bit upset. She just wants to thank everyone for the kind words, and she'd like to say she's enjoyed serving with you all, and thank you all for what you've said. She does appreciate it.
It's quite emotional, isn't it? Thank you, colleagues, and that concludes the meeting. Perhaps we can go out with a little applause for our retirees and leave.